13, 12, 11.
Hi guys.
Oh my God. Phone would ring at like 1 o'clock in the morning and the nurse would be like, there's gunshots outside. I mean, I'm hearing this on speaker. I'm like, lights would come on. I'm like, hey, it's 1 o'clock. Remember that one that last time you paid her like $1 extra?
Just trying to get
All
the
her
microphones
purses.
to work. We don't have to yell the whole time.
Started at the East and then working with adults.
Maybe a year. Anyway, it's okay. Yeah, but I would love to know. Uh-oh, see.
Yeah.
She loves the scenes.
You know what? That was never my thing. And the older I get, and I've done some work with there are a couple of companies in our area.
Takes a lot of patience. But I mean, just patience.
Does it matter if this is marked off, Lisa?
Care, dementia.
No, that's a different, that goes into.
She doesn't I didn't care.
Yeah.
Works with the parents and all that. So these people like, she's they're like, oh, Tiffany's great. It's like, what about the nurses that were taking care of her?
Yeah.
We don't even know who they are.
Yeah.
I mean, that's.
Yeah. She's their first time.
Yeah, no, yeah.
And maybe best contact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She follows through and just does what she says she's gonna do.
Sounds
And
hardworking.
everybody, insanely driven. Wants to be the best at everything, perfectionist. So there's some downsides to all of those things too.
Absolutely.
Her
Especially when
drive-
you live with them.
Well, so so like her facility's been full for months. It won't stay open.
Do you work with both locations
And I'm
or just
thinking
both?
about the place that she's the only one.
Okay.
I mean, I'm like,
I mean,
you've
before
got
COVID, we still had caregiver.
One bed.
You told me it turned out.
What was that group called? I was
So I know that
I
bed.
was afraid of that for a while. Did you stop
It's
that?
only not because it's now 6
COVID.
and they don't let you move anybody else in after 6. Because if it was 4, I guarantee you would
You
find
have somebody in there. Yeah, moved in by 6.
Oh, she
Yeah.
just wouldn't come
Oh
home.
my God. Oh my God.
But anyway, it's a blessing and a curse.
Oh, yeah. I can understand.
Yeah, so you're doing the part.
That's good.
Yeah,
You
it's
know what?
fun.
That's
It's really
it's
cool.
a population of baby boomer.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean,
In different roles.
I mean, when things happen in our family, I mean, she like
Get it done.
makes all the phone calls and everything's lined up. Everyone else freaking out, crying. All right, now I can do what I need to do. Cry or whatever.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah.
It's pretty
That's a
cool.
good skill.
Yeah, it's cool.
My parents are almost 80 and my mother has Alzheimer's. And
Oh, man, yeah.
My dad has been in and out with lots of health problems. And we're in a pretty good place right now, but my sister and I, tag team that. I live in Greenwood and I live a mile from my parents. So, my husband and I do most everything for them except at the hospital. And then my sister works in healthcare also, and she's not a therapist. And I mean, she's a blue. I like in the hospital. I'm like, really want to work with me? Trust me, because that's like, hey, my sister's coming in, and you're not gonna like that.
She's not the nice one.
No, she's not. And my dad will tell him. My dad will be like, yeah, he wants your time. Like,
Good? No, how about this one? Yay!
So what am I supposed to do with this?
I don't think this one's working.
They're working, they're just a little low,
No?
but you're not in front of
It's
it.
working.
Yep.
They can hear it. Yeah, the speaker goes out. So just speak up.
Speak up.
They are working. Okay. Okay.
I was gonna say,
Yeah,
I'm
now, can you hear us on
I
Zoom?
don't know about that.
If you're on Zoom, can you give us a thumbs up? Myrna, I can see you. Give us a thumbs up. Okay, hi. If there wasn't a problem, it wouldn't be a good event, right? So there's always some issue. So I'm Leah Treadwell. I'm the owner of Indy Real Estate Experts and Downsizing Indy. And if you don't know where you are, this is the Indy Senior Living Series. Today we're going to be talking about surviving the holidays. And just a few housekeeping things. You see lots of cameras around here, which since July, we've been working on hosting what's called a hybrid meeting, which is in person and then also online for people who prefer to attend via Zoom or live stream via Facebook or YouTube. So this camera here is pointing at us, panelists. So you can say hi, and that is going to wait. We're waiting to our online audience. This camera over here is actually my cell phone. It's pointing to all of you, and you have a little square on Zoom. So if you want to wave hi to that camera, then you're waving to the audience, and it's actually even thinking of you, the sponsors here on the side of the room too. So if you are a sponsor or if you're attending and you're really tech savvy, if you want to get out your phones and take about 10 seconds to share this video online, it's being hosted on the Facebook Downsizing Indy page. It's also on YouTube, Indy Real Estate Experts. You can just share the video and maybe one of your friends or followers out there could tune in. So online and at your seats, you have one page that has all of our wonderful sponsors, and they're all here today on the side of the room. This event costs over $20,000 a year to put on, actually, believe it or not. And that's including advertising, room rental, mostly advertising, because advertising is expensive, and those postcards that you get each month. So we cannot do that without them. We've got, if you're here, just give a big wave, because I don't see, is Laura here from Westminster Village? She's out this month for some reason. Westminster Village. I know Dave Holder's here from Assisted Living Locators. He's over there. Miranda's sitting right next to Dave. Seniors Guide is the online, the magazine you can get in the grocery stores. It's a huge resource. Clear captions. Stacy's here. She's the one that makes the cool gift bags that we're giving away at the end of the event. Bryce Care brought us food and coffee and water. Wickshire is here. Jennifer. Marquette is here. Missy down there at the end. Who else am I missing? Vincent Law Firm. I thought some Courtney here. Sycamore Reserve, and then Tiffany with Eagledale is actually here in person. You guys have been taking those flowers home for the last 5 years, and they last for like 3 months. So this is your girl. I don't know where she gets them or what she does to them, but maybe she'll tell us during the panel. So you guys know who are attending here in the room, the bathrooms are just outside. There's a water fountain out there. There's also, like I said, coffee and pastries and water at the back of the room with Bryce Care. And then my mom in the back also has been signing you in, Violet, or you can just call her mom. She'll answer that too. Or Nanny, she answers to Nanny too. She's been, if you haven't entered in for the door prizes, because I hear we have some pretty cool ones. Make sure you enter your name into those and then just sign in. And we won't spam you, but we do want to tell you about our events, because we not only do these events, but we also do some tours at senior communities and some cool stuff throughout the year. So we want to be able to tell you about those events. What else am I missing? For the online audience, Sarah posted a link to all of the handouts that the in-person audience has here, so you guys can feel as a part of the room as possible, and that's ultimately the goal. And this is really hard, by the way, to host hybrid meetings if you've never done it before. Big churches do it all the time, but we are not a big church. So it's really hard. What else? Do it. Oh, *6 on your phone if you are attending on your phone. I just saw somebody tune in from their phone. If you've got a question, hit *6 and that will alert us. If you are also on Zoom or if you're online via Zoom, you can raise your hand or type a question in the chat. If you're Facebook or YouTube, same thing, just type your question in the chat and we will answer it here. We'll ask our panelists and we'll answer it here in the room. We have several microphones too. And if you're here in the audience in person, when you say something, we're going to repeat it back because we don't have a runner and we don't have enough microphones and we want everybody to be able to hear in the room and then also online. The echo in the room and the sound has been a big complaint and I hear you and I'm working on it. And I think we may have found a solution for next month and going forward, which is a new room. And we'll talk about that before we leave today. So without further ado, let's just get into it. We have panelists here. We're covering a myriad of topics with regards to surviving the holidays. We're talking about the logistics. We're talking about the psychology. What else? Mental, physical, everything. So we're going to cover it all here. Your questions in person, you've got the questions at your table, and then online they're on that Google Drive link that Sarah posted. We'll ask one question, give the panelists opportunity to answer, and then we'll give you an opportunity to ask questions about that particular topic. And then at the end, we'll do general question and answers. Cool. All right, let's go. So we'll start and we'll just have you all give a quick introduction about who you are and maybe your specialty for around the holidays specifically.
I'm Tiffany Wesseler. I'm third generation of Eagledale Florist. I love to make everyone's table look beautiful, whether you are having no one in your home or you're having 300 people in your home. You know, flowers make a big difference.
Hi everyone, thanks for having me. Karina Thompson here. I am the Community Relations Manager at Joy's House. We are an adult day service. We also have caregiver support services. And our mission is to serve adults living with life-altering diagnoses and their families by providing exceptional adult day and caregiver services. Thanks.
I'll take that. You're right.
Good morning. I'm Holly Conway-Eaton, and I work with Senior Home Companions. We're a privately owned company here in town that provides caregiver services and support in the home. I've been with the company now around 11 years and started as a caregiver. Fell in love with the services that we provide and decided to join the team as a business management development representative. So I go out and talk to people about our services. Oh, and for the holidays, just helping you to reduce as much stress as possible by offering assistance in your home or anything you may need at the holiday time. We've got caregivers that can come in and help.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Chris Camden. I'm the owner of Color World House Painting. And during the holiday time, we actually do holiday decorations and holiday lighting. So I've got a pamphlet there on the table that says Trim Light Indy. It is a permanent lighting solution that we offer that actually decorates for every holiday of the year, not just Christmas.
And I want what he's got.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome. I'm Holly Dunn. I'm a licensed clinical social worker, family therapist by trade. I am the clinical supervisor at St. Vincent Ascension Stress Center. And I'm here just to help answer questions and offer support from a mental health perspective.
I think you just opened a can of worms for yourself there.
Bring it on.
Have people lay it up.
Bring it on. I love it. Bring it on. Let's do it.
We have a question. The little gadget you put on the table.
What are they?
Oh, yeah.
That's a great question because I asked that the first time I got one of those.
We all did.
Yes, I think, and people have asked me every time I give them out. Those are, and I don't know if they've come out of COVID or if they were around before COVID, but they're used so that you're not using your hands touching things. You can use it to open doors. You can use it to push buttons. You can use it to,
Yes, any of the buttons, ATM machines, elevators, any of that stuff. So they're kind of neat. Or if any of you like fidgets, they're kind of a nice little fidget that you can spin around your fingers.
Don't hit anybody.
Which is how my boss uses it. So yes, yeah. Thank you for asking. 'Cause
That's awesome.
Good question.
I forgot to say thank you to a few people. First of all, you guys know I have a goal of getting my kids to as many national parks as possible before they leave my house. And so I was in Grand Canyon for October because their fall break is always the second. And didn't Sarah do a good job hosting and moderating? There on Zoom, my kids were still in bed because it was 3 hours earlier, and I saw the room looked great. Sarah did a great job, and you all did a great job too, getting involved and asking questions and comments too. So, and then the other group of people I forgot to recognize are veterans. So if you're a veteran, will you just stand up so we can appreciate you? That free meal tonight.
You are one.
I am too, yes.
Aw.
I've only taken advantage of that free meal once. It's kind of nice. I don't know. The longer we go on, I feel like Veterans Day is like bigger and bigger. So we might as well get a free dinner out of it, right? Thank you, guys. Okay, so we're gonna jump in and again, ask questions, and we want your involvement as much as possible. So we've got our introduction. And then these are very general questions, but again, if something pops up during something that they're answering a question, write it down and bring it up when we're open for questions. So, okay, so the first question is, what do you offer that is geared toward or helpful for seniors? Now, obviously, we're talking about during the holiday times, but if there's something else, you mentioned that too. And be sure to hold the microphone as close as possible and or talk loudly so that everybody can hear.
So we offer flower delivery to people's homes either once a month, once a year. It makes a big difference. It's very easy to not decorate for the holidays. Oh, I'll do it next year. But the mental side of it is you need to decorate.
You need to decorate.
You need to decorate. Just do it.
Do it.
Even if you put up a Charlie Brown tree.
So we have a couple of services I mentioned earlier in our mission statement. So our adult day service, it provides respite and peace of mind to family caregivers by keeping their loved one in a safe, caring and engaging environment at Joy's house. Many of our guests, so we call them guests in our home. We've got 2 locations, one in Broad Ripple, one on the south side of Indianapolis. Many of our guests aren't able to stay home alone safely. So once again, by spending their days at Joy's house, their caregiver, who's often a senior, gets that peace of mind knowing that their loved one is safe and loved on. And then we also have caregiver support services. So caring for the caregiver. Right now that looks like one-on-one coaching with our Joy's House staff. We also have a podcast called Caregiver Crossing. So that's more educational. And then we have this care kit. It is a binder full of template information to help keep your loved one's medical records, legal, financial, it just keeps everything organized.
So Senior Home Companions has a number of services that we can offer. You'll see this at your table. Some of these services can be for your loved one. If you are the primary caregiver of someone, we can come in, our caregivers can come in and help take care of them. We do personal care, help with transportation, help around the house. Anything that you could think of that you may need assistance with, if it's not a medical need, that's what our caregivers can help with. If you need help getting out Christmas decorations, getting boxes down from the attic, putting up trees, anything you could think of to prepare for the holidays. If you feel like it's a little too much for you, our caregivers can come in and assist. Transportation's a big one, especially if loved ones have doctor's appointments or somewhere they need to be and you're not able to get them there. Our caregivers can provide that service as well. Accompanying to procedures. So a lot of times if you go to have a procedure, it's mandated that someone be there with you and stay. So our caregivers can do that as well. We have some great cooks. Our caregivers are great cooks. They can prepare meals ahead of time, put them in the freezer, so you can use them later. So yeah, anything organizing too is a big one during the holidays. So we can do all of those things. We also are contracted with the VA. So for you veterans in the room, there's a possibility that some of those services could be paid for by the VA.
All right, good morning again. As I mentioned, Color World House Painting, we paint all year round. So that's something that we can help with. I have a few people that are trying to get us jammed in right here at the end of the year to get their house spruced up before they have the family over. So we do a little bit of that during the holiday season. But most importantly, during this time of year, we do holiday decorations. I offer typical string Christmas lights that you're accustomed to seeing. You know, the LED bulbs, all the different stuff on the trees and shrubs, lit garland, wreaths, all of those kinds of things. So we specialize in kind of sprucing the house up a little bit. And then, as I mentioned as well, we in the pamphlet that's out there, we also offer kind of a state-of-the-art new product that was actually developed out in Utah 10 years ago. There's 100 dealers in the United States. I'm the only one here in Indiana, but we offer a permanent lighting solution that gets installed in an aluminum channel that's the same color as your gutter. So essentially matching the front of your house. During the day, you see nothing, and at night, endless possibilities for customizing different patterns and such. Red, white, and blue is what I got on my house today. So pretty cool deal. And I can just as easily go right back to a Thanksgiving pattern that we have programmed down there tonight, if that's what I wanted to do. So.
Raise your hand if you want that. Again, I'm Holly. I'm from the Stress Center, and Ascension St. Vincent Stress Center has been around. Gosh, it's been there forever. Violet works there with me. So, wait, did they start in the 70s, Violet? Do you remember?
65.
65.
Especially if you have Medicare.
Okay. And provide it's a psychiatric hospital for the area. A couple of community is there, also downtown Eskenazi, different mental health providers, but the Stress Center is right down the road. And it provides emergent psychiatric care for children as young as 5. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Miss Violet is there as my backup. Violet's been with the Stress Center for how many years, Violet? 30 years. So she knows way more than I do. And I've been saying, you should really be up here, not me. And then all the way through seniors. So, and I think for seniors, there is definitely a senior psychiatric unit that is there for severe cases. But they also provide an outpatient service for seniors. There's a group that runs just a support clinical group for seniors. Women meet on Mondays, men meet on Wednesdays. And you go through the assessment process through our access, which is our intake department, or you can call and make an appointment through the just through the outpatient services for an assessment if that's something that you're interested in doing.
And then you get to talk to me.
And you might, if you're lucky, you'll get to talk to Violet.
And now I understand my mom's job better than I ever have. Well, she moved recently to downstairs to where the senior groups meet, so which is convenient because she takes off every second Thursday to be here with us to welcome you all and get everybody signed in. So yeah, we appreciate that. So And my counselor is like my best friend, so I am not ashamed. Everybody needs to talk to somebody, and these days you just gotta pay somebody because nobody else has time, right? Okay, good. One thing I wrote down that Tiffany said, and she was talking about decorating, even if it's a Charlie Brown tree. I have, you guys know, I have a 16-year-old, and my daughter's almost 12 on Sunday, and I don't have time, and I don't like clutter, so I'm one of the ones that I just don't decorate. But I did have a Charlie Brown tree, and that little stupid Charlie Brown tree is probably what my kids are going to remember during the holidays. But the one thing that I took from my own parents' house was, we've talked about before, if you've been here over the years, we've talked about your kids don't want your stuff, and it's usually some trivial item that they just remember seeing around the house. Well, that for me was this, you'll remember this, Mom, this mouse that had it had a Santa Claus hat on, and it just has, I don't even know what it's made of. Yeah, it just says Merry Christmas. It's not ceramic, it's like plastic. Oh, it's plastic. See, there you go. It's like the only thing I took because I just remember it. I got nail polish on it one year, and that's still on there. It's like, that's literally the only thing I want for my mom's house. FYI. Okay, so Holly kind of started into it. The next question. Wait, do we have any questions based on what we talked about just now? Any online? I was checking online and giving shout outs to people. I don't see any. By the way, we have a good amount of people online this month too, so that's great. Okay, so the next question, Holly was sort of leading into it, was how can seniors specifically benefit from the services that you have to offer? It's no surprise these events are geared towards seniors, so the main attendees are seniors, and they want to know, how can they benefit from your services?
So we all have those friends that need nothing else in their home. They do not need one more heart. They don't need one more angel, but they could use some fresh flowers. And it really does. Receiving flowers is an amazing feeling, but giving flowers is even more. So giving even a rose in a bowl, the power that gives you also gives your friend that doesn't need one more thing in their house to take care of, but that they can just enjoy.
So this will be for the holidays and just in general. Seniors can benefit in a couple of different ways. So if it's the family caregiver, they benefit by knowing that their loved one is in that safe environment during the day while they take a break for a little respite, while they have to go to work, the grocery store, or even the golf course. And then their loved one, the guest in our home, they benefit by being a part of a community, by engaging in physically and mentally stimulating activities, by socializing with others, by sharing a meal with their friends. The list goes on, really. We had just a little anecdote here. We had some feedback from a particular caregiver that once his mother started attending, she returned to an earlier joyful behavior at home. She started singing and humming around the house again. So I imagine if it were around the holidays, she'd be singing Christmas carols. So.
So a lot of benefits here for seniors with our services. First of all, around the holidays especially, there's a lot to be done, right? Especially housework. So having a caregiver come in can reduce the stress for you of having to get a lot of the laundry done and some of the cleaning done. And if you are a senior living alone and your kids if you have children and they live out of state, the holidays can be a really tough time for some people, and loneliness and depression are big during the holidays. So just having someone come in that can provide companionship and help with some of the tasks can be helpful. If you are a primary caregiver, you need to take care of yourself, especially during the holidays. So having someone come in that can take care of your a significant other while you either relax or go out and do holiday activities, shopping or whatnot, can be very helpful. And it frees up your time and allows you just to relax. So many benefits, but those are just a few of the highlights around the holiday season.
My benefit for you guys is real simple, and it really applies year round. And it just comes down to one word, and that's ladders.
Thank you, Chris.
I don't even like to get on a step ladder. Ask my wife. She's had some funny instances seeing me on a ladder where I just flat out will not take one more step up the ladder. It's just not happening. But I'll reach about to an 8-foot or 9-foot gutter line. If I can get up to about the 3rd step, that's about as far as I need to go on a ladder. So I pay people to get on ladders. You know, we will hit every single peak. We will hit every single corner. We will hit the highest tree. I'll bring a boom lift out if that's what we have to do. But there's no reason you guys should be getting on ladders or step ladders or any of those things. I try not to even do that, but anyway, that's the biggest thing, ladders.
Amen.
You know, I think what we offer at the Stress Center, we offer I know we offer year round. It's not necessarily, services are not necessarily unique to the holiday season, but I think the amount of services that are sought out during the holidays increases. I think most of us are aware of mental health needs increasing around the holidays, whether it be from just the stress of the holidays, the money of the holidays, the family connections, sometimes dysfunctions of the holidays, all of that tends to, or can often increase our anxiety, increase depression. So I think just knowing that resource is there, you are certainly welcome to reach out and seek services that are there through the holidays.
Raise your hand if you have dysfunction in your family. Just kidding.
We got a couple doubles.
Someone's dancing back there. Awesome. Right. It's normal to be dysfunctional.
I'll go to the stress center right after.
Right. You guys are
Call my boss and go, you might expect an influx of, of senior patients.
Extra workers, please.
Yes.
Yeah, right. That's great. I wrote down a couple of notes here from Tiffany, and then something that you said, Holly. Everybody does enjoy flowers, and I actually learned this from Tiffany. I don't even know how many years we've known each other.
Well, Helen's 12.
Yeah, well, more than 12 years, yeah. And she's my flower girl. Like, I text her, she has an app now, and my mom gets flowers. I send them to her at work because I feel like it makes her feel more special because more people can see them. See, she gets flowers.
It does.
My dad, everybody gets flowers, and Tiffany's my girl. She makes it really easy. I don't even tell her what to send. She just knows. And I feel like creative, like if I could give somebody more creative freedom, that's going to get the best product, and that it's always works. So just another plug for you. And then Holly, you said something, and it reminded me, I was just meeting with an adult child yesterday. She's actually helping her uncle because he doesn't have any family members. He's a veteran. He has memory care issues, living in a single family detached home by himself in Pike, so Northwest. She lives 2 hours away in Illinois, Urbana. Has anybody heard of Urbana, Illinois? She's got 2 kids, basically the same age as mine. They're very involved in school and sports. Her and her husband are very involved with their kids' lives, and they also work at the University of Illinois. So needless to say, she's super busy with just her immediate family. And now she's driving at least once a week, 2 hours, to come and meal prep for her uncle. She's taking care of his financials. She had to get a power of attorney so that she could do all of this. And she's to the point now where she she has to get him moved, to Illinois, which is why we were meeting. But she basically said, she had a breakdown. And she called some other family members who live in other states too. And she's the oldest daughter, or the oldest child, so she feels more responsible. But she said, look, you guys, I need help. So Uncle Bruce is going to like Wisconsin with some other family members for Thanksgiving, because she needs a break and she wants to enjoy her own family. And I think it was hard for her to finally get to the point where she couldn't do anymore. Like she literally had a breakdown before she could ask for help. And we don't want to wait until we get to that point to ask for help. I know it's hard to ask for help, but just that relief that Joy's House can offer, to get you a break, to go golfing if you want to, or get your nails done, or have a massage, or just sit at home and do nothing, watch Netflix and take a nap. So don't get to that point and ask for help is my point. Any questions on that topic or comments? I don't see anything online. Do you see anything, Sarah? One thing I was going to tell the sponsors, be sure to put your links to your websites and your contact information and all of that on the Zoom chat, and it'll show up in the live streams too. Okay. Questions? What is the estimated cost for services and how do we schedule? And if there are resources to help pay for things, maybe mention that too.
We deliver 6 days a week, anything from $30 to whatever you want to spend. You can send just a simple rose in a vase and have that delivered to your friend, or we can deliver it to you because the holidays are very important to have some cheer.
So I mentioned earlier that we have a couple of locations. So the first is in Broad Ripple. It's a bigger house. And then the second location is on the University of Indianapolis's campus. We call it cozy and adorable. And that means really small. Yes, but there's still, the love is still in the room. You can feel it when you walk in. And I mention that because there are different hours and rates for each location. So the Broad Ripple House, we are there Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and the cost per day is $75. And then the Indy House is open Tuesday through Friday, 8 to 5, and the cost per day is $70. That includes a light breakfast, a healthy lunch, and a snack. It includes all activities throughout the day, lots of hugs. Well, we've had to curb the hugging since the pandemic, so it's really unfortunate. And I mean that in a serious way. So we do have, we take private pay. We also have, we do accept Medicaid waiver. There's Title III. I'm not the expert on either of those, but if you have questions, give us a call. And another option is we have a guest scholarship fund. So we're not for profit. And for that guest scholarship fund, we fundraise. So through activities, and events and grants, special programming, we will help you finance that. And we're proud to say that we've never turned anyone away due to a lack of being able to pay. Was there a second part to that?
No, that was it. Do you?
Yeah.
I don't know what that beeping is on that microphone speaker, so we're just going to ignore it unless it becomes a nuisance. So does it matter where the vicinity where somebody lives? They can go to either location?
That's right.
Okay.
Yep, just whatever's more convenient, or closer to your home or work or a golf course or whatever you'd like to do while your loved one's with us.
Okay, good.
So
Oh,
How long in advance do you have to make a reservation?
Oh, that's a good
Oh.
question. For the online audience, she asked, how long in advance do you have to make a reservation for Joy's house?
Yeah, so as far as the scheduling goes, to get in initially, we encourage a tour. So a brief tour, give us a call, schedule, a 30-minute tour. If you like what you see and how you feel, then we will schedule an official assessment. So that's around 2 hour long appointment with the family caregiver. We ask that they bring their loved one so that they can spend some time with us and our other guests. And then if you come on if you decide that you want to be a part of the family, then we will work on the schedule for a month. We like to do the schedule a month in advance, just so we know how to prepare for meals and activities, staffing, that sort of thing. But we've got, things come up. So if you give us a call, sometimes the morning of, and say, hey, I'm bringing dad by, or whoever it is, you can do that, or even cancel if something comes up the day of.
So it's sort of pretty short advance for just like a quick pop in maybe, but it became like something like a regular, then maybe make a schedule about a month out or so.
Correct.
Yeah. Sounds good. And that makes sense for staffing and food.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So with the number of services that we provide, obviously, there's many things we can do. We will develop a personalized care plan for whatever it is you're needing. And based on the number of hours you would like to use us per week is how our rate is determined. So our best rate is when a caregiver comes to your home and is there for 4 consecutive hours, and that is $27 an hour. We do have a shorter time frame of a 2 to 3 hour, and that rate is $37. Keep in mind, we are contracted with SECOA, so we do accept Medicaid waiver. And for you veterans out there, we are contracted with the VA for a benefit called VA home-based care. So if you're not from, and it's not the aid and attendance benefit, it's a different benefit. So if you're not familiar with this benefit and you want more information, stop by our table and we can talk to you about that. That's a payment source where the VA pays our company directly for your care, and there's no out-of-pocket then for the veteran. We also always ask if you have a long-term care policy, and we'll help you determine if that policy will cover our services. A lot of times they'll cover caregiving services in your home. So we'll work on you with that as well. So those are our payer sources. Another thing I'll mention is that, and I put one of these in front of you called Story Cottage. So if you know of someone that has dementia, or you have a loved one with dementia, we have built 2, and we have a 3rd one going up, group homes for people with dementia. The beauty of these homes is, well, not only are they beautiful, but they offer a home-like environment for people with dementia with 24-hour-a-day care. And what sets this apart from other facilities is the ratio of care. So there are always 2 to 3 caregivers there around the clock, and the most residents we have in any one home is 10. So to have 2 caregivers at a minimum for 10 people, the level of engagement that we can give folks is amazing. So if you want more information about that, you can look at the brochure or stop by our table. And I think that's it. Any questions?
All right, as far as pricing is concerned, everybody's house is different, so it's kind of hard to give an exact on that. My typical string light that it's a lease program that I make the lights, I provide extension cord and timers for your normal takedown lights. So we come out, we put them up, we come back out, we take them down, and I store them for you over the winter. And so those are all custom made to length for your house, depending on where you want lights. My minimum typically to come out and do all of that is 1,000. It could be less than that, but most people are having us get up on the roofs and do all the roof lines and the trees and, you know, all these things. So I would say 1,000 is probably our minimum. I mean, depending on how big the house is, I would say on a typical string light job, probably my biggest one is probably 2,500. The permanent lighting, again, minimum probably 1,500 on that. And we've done jobs in the 15,000 range, but they were massive homes. And they wanted the entire home wrapped, as opposed to the vast majority of my customers just do the front of the house. So that's a big difference. We break the quotes down by each side, so you'll know exactly, you know, hey, do the left side, don't do the right side, whatever, for that. So yeah, that's kind of it. We take credit card and checks.
You know, the stress center and all the mental health services that are there are under the hospital. So the majority of what we provide is covered with insurance, private insurance or Medicare. The senior outpatient group that is most appropriate for this group is certainly covered by Medicare. Not a lot of expenses. The way you get connected, I will tell you, just the general phone number for the stress center, I believe it goes to the access department, is 317-338-4800. If you want to go directly to the outpatient services that does the assessment for the senior outpatient groups, that number is 317-338-4850.
Do you guys get that number? It'll be big, and I don't know what it means. I asked the people on Zoom if they can hear us, so if you can hear me on Zoom, can you give us, you can? Okay, well, I don't know, just wants to be involved in the panel today, I guess. Yeah, those prices were pretty reasonable, Chris, I'd say, yeah. Any questions about cost or resources? I wrote down something. A lot of times I think we just assume stuff is too expensive, we can't afford it. And I guess my takeaway from all of that is just don't be afraid to just call and ask. I mean, you never know what the pricing is. You could be surprised. And also you never know what resources are available. I didn't know about the additional VA, you know, veteran resources. So.
Yeah, and I forgot to mention on that benefit that if the veteran lives with a primary caregiver, you can also apply for a respite benefit. And that benefit gives you 30 days a year of free care to be used however you want to use it. So a day in your home is considered 6 hours. So you could use, you know, if you want to use those 6 hours a day, if your spouse or loved one gets out of the hospital and you need additional help. Point is, you can use them whenever, and they renew yearly. So in addition to getting personal care for the veteran, you can apply and get the respite care as well. And it's a huge benefit that I don't think a lot of veterans know about. It's not like if you've heard of aid and attendance, which will provide cash to the veteran, and then the veteran can use that however they like. But there's a lot of stipulations with aid and attendance. So you have to have served during a time of war. There's an income qualifier. VA home-based care, you don't have to have served during a time of war. It's not based on income. The only difference is the spouse of a veteran can't get direct care. It has to all be for the veteran, but it's a great benefit to my knowledge. I think you can get them both at the same time. And aid and attendance takes a long time to get approved. So this is definitely, the VA home-based care is a benefit you could use in the interim until you get approved for aid and attendance.
Awesome. Any questions? Online questions? Okay, so the question 5, I'm going to kind of rephrase it a little bit. Well, it says, you know, do you hear common complaints or issues for seniors around this time of year? So I would say, what sorts of things needs to be here from specifically seniors this time of year, and maybe some FAQs around this time of year? With the answer, of course.
Well, we have a lot of people who have children that live out of town. And so there again, mom and dad don't need one more anything. So fresh flowers, centerpieces, poinsettias. I'm not seeing the trend of poinsettias going up. I see it kind of going down and people want fresh flowers. Fresh, well, not just because of pets, but just the enjoyment of a centerpiece, the fresh pine. Maybe you used to put a tree up, a fresh tree, and now you have an artificial tree. So you still want the pine smell. And we make centerpieces that literally last all month as long as you give it water. And we deliver everywhere. So yeah, I think that's the biggest thing that I see.
Okay.
So we do hear of challenges from a lot of our families, and I don't think that they're unique to what I do. I'm sure that y'all have heard some of the same issues come up. The weather can be a challenge, especially if you're caring for a loved one that has a diagnosis. Getting out in the weather, and then also getting out of bed. So where we can help is if you have your loved one coming to Joy's house, it's a reason to get out of bed. A lot of our guests have created friends at Joy's house, and they help around the house. So we don't force them to work, but they help around the house with light cleaning, gardening, activities. So again, it's a reason to get out of bed. Having a purpose, yeah. So I think that's a big way that we can help. Holly number 2 mentioned the family dynamics. I'm not gonna steal that because I think somebody else might want to talk about that, but family dynamics around the holidays can be tough too.
You mentioned the weather and transportation. So this is a way where we partner with other services out in the communities, such as Joy's house. Yeah, we can take that loved one to Joy's house. We can pick them up. I think several of the people that go to Joy's house live with their children, and kids work. And so wouldn't it be nice once or twice a week if you didn't have to rush from work to pick up your loved one? We could go pick that person up, take them home, get a meal prepared. So when you get home from work or wherever, dinner's ready. So providing transportation is huge, especially in the winter. Many times family members will gather for the holidays. And how do we get mom or dad to us if they live further away? So we've had caregivers drive our clients to get-togethers and stay while they're there, bring them back home. And just the overall stress of getting ready for the holidays is something we can help with. Again, you know, the creativity that you have as far as what you need done, we can help, right? Even if it's just decorating a tree or again, getting out boxes, or just giving you a break if you're caring for someone. Having our caregivers come in and giving you a break so you can go take care of what you need to for the holidays. We take care of a lot of people whose kids, relatives live out of state. So they often depend on our caregivers to help them maintain their homes or just do their day-to-day activities.
All right, I'm gonna stick to my theme with ladders. And honestly, you know, it's funny, we talk about that all the time, and it's like a selling point, but I can tell you 95% of the houses I go to, the women say that their husbands don't want to get on the ladders anymore. And the husbands are like, I used to get up on the ladder, but my knee hurts. And I mean, that's the last reason. I mean, you definitely don't want to be getting up on the ladder if you got bad knees or whatever the case. So again, it's really about helping with that. You know, as you mentioned, with kids moving away and not everybody living close, sometimes, you know, they don't have the kids there on, you know, Christmas morning. Maybe they don't see them till the next day or whatever the case. One of the cool things about my permanent lighting is all you gotta do is pull your phone out and you got, decorations turned on the house. So when you feel like maybe it's not the same as before, well, here's an easy way to have Christmas still every time, or Easter, or Thanksgiving, or Halloween, or Independence Day, or any of the other ones that we have pre-programmed for you. So anyway, that's what we can do to help.
You know what? I guess I would ask you guys, we have a room full of seniors and I don't claim to be able to have all those answers. So I think the same question I have to you guys that they've asked us is, what complaints, issues, concerns, fears, frustrations do you guys see, feel, have during the holidays?
Oh. Question. Anybody
Brave enough to share?
want to brave? Yeah, Bueller. I'll start. I did take some notes. One thing I thought about earlier on was about people who do have family members who have moved away, or maybe you're alone for the holidays, or you feel alone for the holidays. Host your own event. I have a group of people from my church who's like a kind of a support group that we were in, and it's over, the class is done and everything, but we still stay in touch. And we're having an event together. We're gonna have our own sort of Friendsgiving, Christmas thing. We found a date that works for everyone, and we're just gonna have it at my house. And the other thing about that is it doesn't have to be this elegant, huge, big event. Like, don't stress yourself out trying to host an event. People don't really care about that, and that's not what matters. The thing that matters is the time together, face to face, the conversations and the memories that you make there. Your decorations don't have to look perfect, and you could just get the lighting. And I love the idea of pushing a button. That's my style of decorating. So we'll talk later. And the theme always of this event is to be simplifying and downsizing and decluttering. And so along with that is, just simplify your events as well. Declutter your events. Don't, be running around the house in a ball of stress just before people get there. Just make it easy. Ask them to bring food. Just because you're hosting, you don't have to make the turkey. You don't have to make the ham. Somebody else can bring it. So those are the things that I wrote down.
I have a set of friends who are now having an event in their garage, but everyone is responsible for their own food and for their own drink.
Oh, yeah.
And your chair.
They're just providing the building.
Right.
Yeah.
Just to get together. They don't want to share food. They don't want to share drinks. They just want to share each other.
Yeah, that's good. Any questions, concerns, stories, anecdotes? Want to try a cartwheel on the side of the room? I'm kidding.
Where's your hula hoop?
No, my hula hoops. Yeah. Oh, go ahead. Thank you.
I just want to say that if anybody else in this room right now is where I am at, that it's very difficult to talk about it. If you've had a loss in the family close to the holidays, which I've had two in a row, two holidays in a row. If you have people that used to come every year, and now I feel lucky if they come once every 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
We relive it every time, and it doesn't get any better. I don't know what the solution is, but I quit talking about it a long time ago because people didn't know what to say, didn't know what to do.
Yeah, that's so. The comment was, if you had a loss around the holidays, you're reliving it every year. So you have that, which is sad to remember, but then also you're reliving it, and then also you're alone for the holidays. And if you have grown children, or they have their own families, and they want to make their own traditions, and so you kind of are like left alone figuring out where you fit in. And that's why I say host your own event, or think of somebody that you can invite that may be experiencing something similar. One thing,
Can I jump in?
yeah, go
Do you
ahead.
mind? I appreciate you sharing,
Yeah.
because I know it probably feels very much like it's you and only you or you, but you are so right when you say that a lot of people go through that. And I think that is a great example of one of the many reasons why, sometimes the holidays are hard.
Yeah.
I think we all think of the holidays and Christmas as a joyful time but it's not always for everybody.
Can't enjoy it if you busted your butts and you're dead tired by the time the holidays are.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. Our last question on there was just some tips and tricks and stuff. And one of the tips and tricks that was on my list to share was, and I think it goes towards what you said, is that, I think a lot of us hear about, talk about, think about traditions and how important those traditions are and the way we've always done it or who's always been there. And I would absolutely encourage you to do the traditions that work for you, but also recognize that you can create new traditions and you can create new plans and you can create new memories and whether that's, family things or maybe friend things or a neighborhood thing, and being able to adjust our plans and our ideas and our hopes for those holiday traditions.
Yeah, that's
Thank
good.
you
And
for
you
sharing.
always share, and I really appreciate it. You're always the first to raise your hand, so I appreciate that. Because it's,
You want me to come every other
yeah,
time?
just you gotta come every month. You can't miss anymore. Well, on that same note, so I'm divorced and so I share the holidays with my kids' dads. And it's been 6 or so years. And while it's not the loss in the same I had to get over mentally was, we celebrate Christmas. I know everybody doesn't celebrate Christmas, but Christmas at our house is not necessarily on December 25th. It could be on December 12th, or I'm in a family group message and trying to figure out the holidays. And, I said, there's one weekend in December that I have my children, and this is the day. If you want my kids to be there, this is the weekend that we can be there. And that's just, it is what it is, and I mean, I'm happy to go to stuff without them, but the idea is, that we're all together. So maybe in December, our Christmas is on December 10th or whatever. It's all about the idea of getting together for us. And like I said, we've had to create our own stuff, and that's kind of been the best part of all of it, because I told you about the national park thing and the memories that we've been able to create with that are for all of us, all three of us have been, priceless. And it doesn't look like the traditional, family. But again, we just had to be intentional about creating those different,
I've been able to say that I've done since my husband passed away, which is every year, all of the people that I have come to the house, I say, if there's anybody that has no place to go, come here. Now, I have had 2 total strangers sitting at the Thanksgiving table for the last 5 days.
That's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, and that's what it's about, being flexible within that, is that this is the way we like to do it, but you know what? We're gonna be flexible and we're gonna figure out what works this year for us. We had a gal who had only been here in the United States 17 days, was working at McDonald's where my husband always got his coffee. And I went up to her and I said, what are you doing for Thanksgiving? And she said, I don't have any place to go. It's just my daughter and me. And I said, well, you know, right? Yeah, and they've been every year since.
That's awesome. That's good. And for the online audience, she said for the last several years, she's just been intentional about finding people who also don't necessarily have a place to go and inviting them over. So that's awesome. I remember one year, a friend of mine from high school, actually, who was also divorced, I ended up going to like a restaurant one night with him and his family, his mom, Aunt the Ricks. And then, one year, like he came over to our house, you know, we would switch, like the year that the person doesn't have their kids, because that's when it's usually like the worst, then we just invite that person over. So, yeah, it's fun. We just make new memories and just, yeah, become really flexible. So, anyone else feel brave enough to share? Oh, did you raise your hand? Oh. Okay, anything online? Don't see anything. So yeah, we did, Holly mentioned our last question. Oh, it's already 11:08. Do you have any specific tips or tricks that you'd like to share with the audience for the holidays?
Enjoy it, because after going through COVID,
Yeah.
you know, the house doesn't have to be perfect. The house doesn't have to, you know, be super clean. No one cares. Everybody just wants to be with everybody. And all that other stuff just doesn't even matter.
This whole list of things that I prepared for this question, but after you sharing it, made me think about telling you that at Joy's house, we have a volunteer program. So I guess I would encourage you and all of us to find a cause and volunteer, not just at the holidays, but in general, you know, anywhere, whatever you're passionate about. But at Joy's house, once again, we do have a volunteer program. We have started allowing volunteers back in the house. We're still practicing all of the safety precautions. We're not open on the actual holiday, so Thanksgiving or Christmas, but we do have celebrations just before and after. We're giving gifts, we're sharing meals, we're serving meals, we're just being of service to the guests in our families. So if that's something you'd like to do to get out and give back in that way, we would welcome you. Love to see you.
That's exactly where I was going to, because I know when you're lonely and you're down, you're blue around the holidays, if you're alone, it's easy to isolate. So we all know that even though you may not feel like it, getting out and getting engaged and getting involved just makes you feel better. I know for me, I may not want to do something, but once I go, thank goodness I went, right? So that's a big part of what our company does. In fact, on the front of this brochure, you'll see this beautiful woman in the orange sweater. This was the woman I took care of as a caregiver for years. And we would make sure, her kids lived out of state, so we would make sure that we still got her out to all of the activities that she had done all her life. You know, she loved to go to the symphony, she loved to go to the museum, she loved to go to the country club on Thanksgiving. So we made sure that we got her there and kept her active. So as far as tips, again, take care of yourself, especially if you're a caregiver for someone else, because what happens if you're down, right? So taking care of yourself, and don't be afraid to say no. I think we all try to do it all with the holidays, and we want it all to be perfect, but don't overwhelm yourself. And if you can't do it, say you can't do it. And if you want to ask for help, there are a lot of services and people out there that can help you. So, yeah, those are my
All right, I'm not gonna talk about ladders.
Yes.
Well, we keep talking about ladders. Actually, I got an exchange a ladder today, so we'll talk about that. No, actually, I actually used to landscape years ago, so I have a bunch of interior plants. I'm a big fan of those. My wife actually just bought me a Meyer lemon tree. We're gonna try to make some lemonade out of some lemons. But no, I'm a big fan of the plants. I'm a big fan of flowers. I mean, that is a huge tip and tricks for the holidays. Almost all the holidays, you know, you go by a florist, they're decorated to the nines. So on every holiday, every day of the year. So they've got something up their sleeve for you for sure. Get out and enjoy, volunteer, and put some lights in your house.
I have a list. Do we have time? Yeah. Well, and it's a lot of what everybody else has already said, but I found this list, on a website that I really thought was fantastic. And it starts with kind of the first tip was, what we talked about earlier was don't be afraid to switch up the traditions. Traditions are great and we all love to be able to do, some of those things that we enjoyed as children or what we've always done with our family. But I think, if COVID has taught us anything, it's taught us how to be flexible. And it's taught us how to, we might have to do some things a little bit differently. So don't be afraid to switch that stuff up. Second is, and it goes a little against what we just said, but it's go through the motions, do it. It's exactly what they said, is that get out and do something. You know what, even if it's just a Charlie Brown Christmas tree, put up a tree. Even if it's a tiny little tabletop, you can go through the motions and do those things that you do enjoy, that bring some joy through the holidays. This is a really good one. Don't set unrealistic expectations for others. I thought that was great because I think, again, that goes back to some of the traditions, but they always come. But we always do lunch, lunch Thanksgiving, or we always, and sometimes that just doesn't work. Things change and families change, and sometimes those traditions, we family members that aren't with us anymore. And so just being able to be flexible and figuring out what works for you and not being hurt or offended by what works for them. Let people choose to let people know how you're feeling. That would be my only caveat to the strong young lady that chose to share, would be, I think you don't want to get stuck in that. You don't want to get stuck in always talking about the sadness or the worry. But I certainly think it's fair to share, because I think most of us have those and have some way of connecting to how someone else is feeling. And I think it's fair to say, you know what, Christmas is hard for me. I really miss so-and-so, or you know what, I'm totally okay with doing Thanksgiving different this year, but it's gonna be a little hard, or I'm gonna miss the way we used to do it. And I think sharing that stuff is important, letting people know where you're at. Don't play the comparison game at the holidays. I like that one, because how many of us are like, but they're having their whole family and only my kids are coming, or it's so nice that, that they let their kids come and my kids don't come, or what. It's like, you know what, work with what you got, look for what is good, find out what works for you. I love the story that you shared about the young lady and her daughter that joined you. It gives me goosebumps. I think that's fantastic. Stay focused on what is working well, and what is bringing you joy. I think that's a great one. Don't compare, even with the Christmas lights, that other people have better ones. So don't compare.
The first one really big in the neighborhood, so everybody wants the big one.
That's right. That's what he said. This comes from the people next. They do it, and they're like, "Oh, that's cool. I want that too." So it's good for his business, not so good for our mental health, but good for his business. The next one was get enough rest. Again, make sure you're taking care of yourself. Drink your water, make sure you're resting, watch what you're eating. We all love the sweets and the treats and the Thanksgiving meal. My tryptophan is one of my favorite chemical things, because then I get to nap afterwards. I love
been to tent cities downtown Indianapolis. There was one in particular along the White River when we would just go and hang out with the homeless people. And I think good. I'm glad you can hear Melissa. I think my son thought it was cool because they literally have cities, and I had to explain to him this. I mean, it might be cool to go camping, but this is like their house, even in the winter and, you know, when it's freezing and all of that. But we would take them stuff. We would take them food. One day we brought a grill out and we made burgers. But it's not like, it doesn't have to be, my point and all that is just saying, it doesn't have to be like an organized thing. You can drive downtown and see tent cities.
Well, and it makes me think, I think a lot of the churches do the giving trees.
Yeah.
And it's organizations that do the giving trees is that, you know, they may not, I'm super proud of that story. That's so neat to do that. But I'm thinking, I'm not doing that. I don't know.
No, I mean, it's not for everybody, yeah.
I think that's so cool
Yeah.
that you're going to do that. I'm like, oh, how can we do that? But I have a daughter that would not work. So, but you know what, we do the giving tree. And you know, we take a couple
Yeah.
families off the giving tree and we put together a box of those services and just, again, get involved, give back, be proud and feel good about what you can do, what you choose to do through the holidays.
Yeah, the public schools are in huge need. There are homeless children in the schools. In our township, right here in Washington Township, there are homeless students at the schools that could use help. And so you could just call the school directly and say, you know, I want to help a family this year. It really isn't, it doesn't have to be an organized thing. And yeah, what works for one person might not be for another, but you just find your thing. So questions, comments before we do some giveaways? Or are you guys just waiting for the giveaway? No, I'm kidding. All right, we lost sound, so we lost some of our online, but we're back on sound. So hopefully for when we post this online, it'll on our website, it'll be all right. So we're gonna give some giveaways, and then I wanted to, Sarah mentioned last month that we're switching. So speaking of switching, you know, around traditions, we're moving. We're not gonna be in this room anymore, but don't panic. We are gonna be in what I consider a better room. There's a lower ceiling, so the sound has been a popular feedback that we've gotten from you. It's hard to hear even in the room, but also online. So our new room is more of like a classroom setting with lower ceilings. It's a bit smaller room, but it's really, it's going to feel like a classroom. So just be prepared. Next month is going to be different. Not here at this church. It's on Delegates Row, and Sarah printed a map, and it's in the back at the back table. So it's basically Keystone and 96th Street, east of Keystone. Does everybody know where the old Plata and or Scotty's used to be on 96th Street? So there's a road right in between those two restaurants. That's Delegates Row. If you turn, you can only go south on that road. You follow it straight back, and the building where we're going to be, it's called the Anchor. There's big letters that say the Anchor. You'll see a walking path painted and some exercise equipment out there, and like a lake. It's in a professional park called Lakes at Keystone. And the Anchor is kind of like it's like almost like a student union, or it's like their amenities building. So they've got a training room there, and we are going to be there for all of 2022, but we're starting December.
We don't have to exercise when we get out there.
Hi, they have a workout room,
They
and
have a
there's a
workout
trainer
room.
in there. Yeah.
It's a neat area, you might want to. It's a beautiful area to walk. I
Yeah.
used to have an office there, you said.
Yeah.
A beautiful area to walk around the lake pond that's there.
Change is good. Change is good. I'm trying to be really considerate and intentional about making sure that you guys know where you're going, and we've been building up to this. So in December, you can call our number if you are feeling like, I don't know where I'm going when it gets closer to the event. But our December's event is going to be super fun. We're playing legal bingo. So Miranda and Jeff Vincent, you guys know them. They've spoken at our panel before. They're super smart. Elder law attorneys. They've helped me with legal terms, and we put them on bingo boards, and we're playing bingo, legal style. So yeah. So invite your friends, tell everybody we're playing legal bingo. It'll be a blast. Oh, and for online folks, Sarah posted that map. Go ahead and screenshot it if you want, and it's also going to be posted on our website. So, okay, we filled up the time. Somebody asked, are we really going to take all 90 minutes?
Yes.
I said, yes, we will. Okay. Oh, okay, let's do, so we've got Stacy Bunez, her basket that she always makes. And then we've got a Target gift card from Marquette. And we have flowers. So how many flowers did you bring? 9. So we have 11 giveaways. This is for Target. Did you Target? Ready? Okay. Nancy Hexamer. Yay. Are you the ones that said you're going to Clues? Yeah, I'm going. It'll be exciting. I love Clues. Yeah, C.S. Lewis, The Great Divorce, is playing at Clues on Saturday. Okay, this is for Stacy's basket in the back. Rita Schmitz. There you go. You might need help carrying that out, and they're usually very, very heavy. Now we've got 9 flowers. If there's one at your table, just grab it. All right. Phil Hexamer. You can give it to your wife. Oh, she's here. She's gonna know. Those are ugly. S. Newhouse. Newhouse, am I saying that right? Newhouse? Yes. You can just take the one there. How many got 2? Risa Stockton. Yay! You got one there. That's 3. 6 more. This looks like 6. Mary King. All right. Barb. Where's Barb Melmoth? You guys, you ladies, you've been texting and calling, and I enjoy it. And I love that you guys all write together. John Williams. All righty. You have somebody special you can give that to, or just enjoy it at your house, right? What's up? Student Maine. Hey, oh. And then Dottie Renner. Okay, I think that's all of them. And a tip for those flowers, if you want to pour the water out in the sink in the bathroom, they transport a little bit better. You can just take it home and fill it back up with water. And they last for like 4 weeks. Thank you for coming, everybody. Thank you to our sponsors. Be sure to go visit their booths over here on the side of the room. If you're online, we put their handouts in that Google Drive link that I shared with you. And we'll see you in December, guys.